How's it going, everybody? My name is JustJarrod, but you can just call me Jared, the channel where we talk about games that can satisfy your loot craving. Today we're talking about a game called Death Trash. An interesting name, I know, but I promise you this game will be anything but trash. It's actually kind of funny how now I'm finally making a video on Death Trash because way back in the earlier stages of this channel, almost 3 years ago, I started following the development of this game over on Twitter because back then I was covering indie games on the channel, and now here we are, I've come full circle. Without further ado, let's talk about Death Trash. Stay a while and listen. Direct from the Death Trash Steam page, which I will link below for you to check out, it reads, Death Trash is a post-apocalyptic action RPG where cosmic horrors crave humanity, but meet punks with shotguns. Explore a handcrafted story campaign and open world, craft flesh items, talk to monsters, journey, customize, shoot, hack and slash, use stealth, your choice. Now, all that sounds cool like it does in every game, but what stands out to me, and probably you too if you're into loot and loot mechanics, is the craft items. Well, it says craft flesh items, and I don't quite know exactly what that entails. I'm still kinda into it. Also, journey, customize, and hack and slash all get my looter brain spazzing out. These are all core gameplay elements that loot cravers absolutely love. Sure, tons of games have those things, so why does Death Trash, a game that if I didn't know what it was I would not want to play solely based on the title alone, gets me hella excited? Because of its uniqueness and juxtaposition. Death Trash's visual style is very dark, gray, post-apocalyptic, alien, horror-like, yet there's a shitload of comedy thrown in to spin the atmosphere on its head, and I love it. Just check out the trailer where you curse at a weird squid monster before befriending it, puke on the ground just to put the puke in your inventory, talk to a naked old man in the woods, and get complimented on your nice ass. Now, since loot and loot mechanics are our driving force to play any game, let's take a look at what we know about the loot in Death Trash. After that, we'll touch on some other exciting aspects about the game. First off, once again, straight from the Steam page, the game features real-time gameplay with ranged and melee combat, stealth, and an inventory full of items and flesh worms. Oh god. With crafting systems and social skills like pickpocketing and puking. So you'll be able to loot and equip ranged weapons like the guns we see used in the trailer and melee weapons like this spiked club thing we see in this inventory screen. And you can switch between your ranged and melee weapons in real time. We can also see what loot looks like when dropped from enemies, and it's got a beam of light just like what we've grown accustomed to, most notably in loot-based games, which is awesome. Let's go back to that inventory screen for a second to check out all the things going on there. Now when I make these videos on loot related games and the like, I always look out for screenshots of the inventory because you can learn a lot about a game just from its inventory, especially loot mechanics. You can see at the top you've got the player profile, the health and the shield or mana or whatever it's going to be called in this game. Under that, you've got alternate menus for crafting, stats, skills, perks, and quests. Right off the bat, we can garner a lot of info from these menus. Crafting is exciting for any loot-driven player. As you can see underneath those menus, there's also a deconstruct sub-menu in the inventory, which leads me to believe you can deconstruct weapons and other items for materials to then use to craft your own weapons and armor, which adds to the quote-unquote loot pool and customization of your character and or playstyle. The most important menu for loot cravers, though, I think is the stats menu. If there's a stats menu, that usually means you'll want to keep track of your stats, i.e. health, damage, output, shields, resistances, maybe, possibly other things like stealth, persuasion, intelligence, strength, those kinds of things. This then begs the question, will loot have different attributes other than just damage? Attributes that contribute to the character's stats, like how affixes and prefixes work in more loot-centric games like Diablo, for example. Now, I'm not saying Death Trash is like Diablo. Don't get me wrong here. Diablo is a pure hack-and-slash loot-driven game. Death Trash is an RPG focused around its story, but it also happens to have loot. How deep those loot mechanics get is the question. Mostly we'll just have to wait and see, but if the loot in Death Trash does have different attributes tied to them, maybe rarities too, it'll be even cooler than it already seems to be. Hey, would you look at that? I actually found a screenshot of the stats menu that I totally forgot I had until after I wrote that last part of the script, but I'll just keep it in as it basically is exactly what we're seeing here, and more surprisingly. From this, you can see the character's name is Mildred. Amazing name, great job. It says that she's a trickster underneath, which might mean there's preset classes you can choose from in the beginning of the game, or spec towards while playing. You've got the level and XP bar, then the attributes and resistances. Attributes include hardness. I'm not even going to speculate on what that could mean, let's just leave that before we get demonetized. You've got also strength, finesse, occultism, cybertech, and empathy. Resistances are blunt, sharp, projectile, fire, energy, poison, cybertech, and magic. So as far as loot having affixes or bonuses to resistances and stats attached to them, I can confidently say it'll be probably yes, unless attributes and resistances solely come from skills and perks as you level up, which is also entirely possible. Either way, I'm still hyped for the loot. As far as gear slots go, you can see here that you'll be able to find and equip one melee weapon, one ranged weapon, body armor, leg armor, a trinket, and something called nano health. Who knows? You can see that you've got an inventory sub-menus for items, mind, resources, and quest items too, so it looks like we'll be picking up a lot of different items, which I'm totally down for. There's also lockpicking in the game, which is something I always spec towards in any game if it's an option, so there's bound to be some hidden secrets, and possibly loot behind some locked doors or chests. Are there even chests in this game? I don't know. I feel like this game would be perfect for mimic chests, or something similar, which are my favorite creatures if you couldn't tell from my channel art. And that's all we really know or can speculate about when it comes to possible loot mechanics in Death Trash, so let's briefly touch on some other gameplay features that are on offer. Death Trash's main focus is its immersive single-player campaign, but it also can be played in local co-op with a friend that has their own characters, own stats, etc. Local split screen is a feature most developers are leaving behind these days, so it's always great to see it actually be a thing. Do note that at this time, there is currently no online play. The story of Death Trash goes like this. Humans traveled to the stars, and some of them settled on the planet Nexus with its ancient secrets of stone and flesh. The machines were installed as protectors, but they were corrupted and brought terror. You are a raider among the ruins of the past. But fate might lead you to the Bleeding Head Oracle, the ever-growing heart, and towards a war with the machines, giving you the power to mend or destroy. Death Trash features social skills like pickpocketing, lockpicking, stealth, and puking, among others. Yes, puking is apparently a skill in this game. There's a ton of exploration through handcrafted levels and locations via a world map, like going to a puke bar, sounds like fun. You can customize your own character, how they look via character customization, and how they play via stats and making choices. There's tons of side quests to discover, tons of weird characters, monsters, and machines to meet, befriend, or kill, because why not? You can rummage through the game, absolutely murdering everyone and everything you come across, or hardly kill anyone. It's up to you. One thing I do want to point out is that there is quite a bit more speculation I could do in terms of loot, but the only extended look at gameplay we have of Death Trash is what you're seeing in this video, and it's 4-year-old gameplay. So it could all very well be changed by now. I'm basing all of my info off of Death Trash's official sites and the Steam page for this video. Death Trash will be entering early access on Steam sometime this year, with the full release coming once it's done. The early access version will include about a third of the game's full campaign, and Stefan is planning to build upon the game with the feedback that comes from early access. Once the game is finished, it will be released on PC, Linux, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and Nintendo Switch, as well as other PC stores. If you are interested in Death Trash, and how could you not be, I will have all the links to all of their sites down in the description. They have a blog, a website, a Steam page, a Twitter, all the stuff. Also, go give Stefan a follow on Twitter, as he is the sole developer of Death Trash and the guy I've been following for almost 3 years now, watching this project develop. I'm very happy that I'm finally making a video on this game after all this time. My YouTube channel has taken a lot of turns over the last 3 years. It's almost serendipitous that I'm covering games I was planning on covering back when I was creating content on indie games. It's pretty crazy. Anyways, like I said, links are in the description. Go check out Death Trash in all its gruesome detail. Wishlist it on Steam, all that stuff. Big props to Stefan, with a last name I dare not try to pronounce. I've enjoyed seeing the Twitter updates over the years. Keep up the good work, and I can't wait for the early access. I guess his name could be Stefan or Stefan, maybe? Stefan, I don't know. And there you have it. That's it for this loot look at Death Trash. Definitely a game that looks like it will please the likes of us loot cravers, as well as tell a creepy, weird story with super cyberpunk science fiction horror vibes mixed with comedy that you don't quite get from any other game out there. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, as it helps the video get out to more people, which will in turn spread more word about Death Trash, and consider subscribing for more epic loot-related game news. My name has been JustJarrod. Until next time, have a legendary day, night, afternoon. Peace out.